should have been a cowboy. I should have learned to rope around.
Dude, speaking of your yerba mate cup, we've got a fresh bag of yerba in the house, and then I went to pull it out yesterday and start boiling water, and then realized that my cup and straw is in Colorado in the RV.
Oh,
So where do you recommend a guy gets a good yerba mate cup?
damn, bro. Here in Calgary, I'd say your safest bet is going to be Amazon.
Amazon Calgary.
Yeah, Amazon, Amazon.ca. I'll ask Clarita. We have a couple spots that we pick up the yerba from in these little Latin shops, but they're more like Mexican. And then they just have the yerba there in the corner. So I don't know if they'll have the cups, the gourds, but these are. I'll see if Clarita has an extra one, and we can give it to you because she's got them for days, bro.
Yeah, she's probably like a Canadian with hockey sticks. She's just got them
Oh,
around.
no, V. Got mini sticks, got like the longer if you're playing defense sticks, you got the shorter
Yeah.
if you want to snipe sticks. Yo, how about the Leafers, bro? 2
Yeah.
and 0 coming out hot.
Yeah, dude, the boys in blue, their fans got to be pretty stoked right now.
Bro, go Leafs,
And they're
go. It's go ahead.
I'm trying to remember who are they playing again?
Ottawa.
That's right. So, I mean, that's a tough one because I mean, both teams Canadian, so
No, we don't like Ottawa, bro. We're going for the Leafs, okay? The poor freaking guys haven't won a championship since like God knows.
Dude, and they don't
It's
got to try and get by the
crazy.
Bruins this year, so that's nice for them.
Yeah, exactly. Because Bruins always kill the Leafs. But you know what? I don't get excited anymore because honestly, these guys they do this like habitually. They go in there, they start winning, they get you excited, they take you to like a game 7, and then they just let you drop from like the top of the Eiffel Tower. It's like, here, your little heart's gonna break right now. Like they
Yeah.
can't just lose, they can't just lose normally. They need to be like, we're gonna do it, buddy. Come with us on this
Yeah.
journey. We're gonna do it together. And then in the last second, it all falls apart.
And like, how many games have we seen where like the team you want scores in like the last 30 seconds? They just mash it in with an like they've got an open net, six guys, and just
Yeah.
mash it in and take it to OT or something. So you want to be invested and stay.
100%. That's what they do, bro. They give you the hope only to take it away. So I don't get excited anymore. I just let's see what's gonna happen here. But they deserve it, man. For the fans, like I'm not even a big fan. I lived outside of Toronto, so obviously it's the team I go for. But I don't watch sports very much. But I got friends that like it's their life, bro. They love this team so much. They watch every game. They have like every jersey, and like their parents haven't seen the team win. Like it's ridiculous.
Oh, isn't that nuts?
It's crazy. When was the last time the Flames won?
Well, it should have been like '04 or whatever that year
Oh,
was.
nice. So you
Um,
were able to experience as a child.
no, they called that goal off, so we lost to Tampa.
Oh, damn. So
Yeah,
when was the last time you got? So you haven't seen it either, I guess.
I haven't seen it either.
Wow, Canadian teams,
Lanny
bro.
McDonald, I got him over there. I got a little bobblehead of Lanny McDonald over there on the wall.
Was he the last to lift the
I
cup?
think so. Yeah, Lanny, when was that? Oh, he's not talking to me.
1974.
Oh, yeah, big old
Um,
mustache on that guy.
wow, damn. All right. Well, maybe this year, bro. Maybe this year for a Canadian team to hoist the Stanley Cup. We would love that.
Hmm.
That's for sure.
I agree.
Regardless of who does. But buddy, today we have a I'm very excited for this podcast guest. I don't know if you know this, but little known fact, he was born in the same town as me in Brazil.
Sao
What are
Paulo,
the
right?
Espírito Santo do Pinhal. São Paulo is the big city, the
Oh, okay.
state, but a little tiny town of like 30,000 people in the interior of the state of São Paulo. And how crazy is that? I love this kid. I call him a kid just because I've known him since he was a kid, but he's a man. He has kids, a wife, and he's one of the best bullfighters in the world. Do
Mhm.
you want to take the honors of who we're interviewing today?
Absolutely. Here we go. We are got Lucas Teodoro on
Oh,
today.
yes,
And like
sir.
you said, bullfighter, guy looks sweet. I did not realize, I mean, I knew you guys were gonna have some sort of connection, right? But the fact that you guys grew up same town, same, that's small world, dude. That's crazy.
Bro, it's just crazy to see him. Like, this is the biggest stage that you can get to as a bullfighter, PBR, he's been there for several years. He's the only Brazilian to ever fight bulls in the finals. He's been voted number two for like the past 3 years, I think, by the bull riders. And he's one of the best. He's one of the best in the world. And when we were kids in this little town in Brazil, he would say, like, I'm gonna be a bullfighter when I'm older. I'm gonna, and he'd be like, yeah, sure you are, bro. Like, shut up and eat your cookies. Like, we were kids, like we were 11, 10. He was really good friends with my cousin, and he's had that desire, that want, that fight in him since he was a little kid. And to see him get there and do it, and do it so well and eloquently, it's amazing.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty cool. So let's hop on with Lucas and talk to him about how he is now living the American bullfighter dream.
Yes, sir. How are you, buddy?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Should we do this in Portuguese so Cole has no idea what we're saying?
See?
Might be funny.
Daqui pra frente é só em português. O Cole não fala nada, vai ser perfeito.
Bora.
Meu irmão, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us this morning. I know you're a busy guy. You got your fam, you got training, you got events on the goal. But I was just telling Cole that this is a huge episode for me because what are the chances? We're from the same town in Brazil, little tiny, Espírito Santo do Pinhal. And I say this to you all the time, but I can't say it enough how proud not only myself, but all the guys back home are of you, everything you've conquered. It's so hard to get to where you are being an American, growing up in Texas or wherever, but being from Brazil, from this tiny town, like you did the impossible. And I was telling Cole, you used to say it when you were a kid, bro, that you were going to do this. You manifested it. You've worked so hard. You did it. You're there. My first question to you is, how does it feel, man? Do you think about that? Like when you were a kid in Pinhal, dreaming of this, like, or now has it become normal for you that you're there fighting these bulls in the PBR?
Well, first I want to thank you guys for having me. Like it's a pleasure for me to be here with you, and we're we're just we're friends when we were kids. Like that bring back a lot of memories. Like and it's pretty cool. Like I really think about everything. Like every day I was like, man. 10 or 15 years ago, I was dreaming about this and now I'm living it. But I don't let that be like I don't know how to explain, but I don't want to be comfortable, like so I always want to be better every day. So I like well I'm very thankful and proud for what I'm doing until now, but I want to keep doing it, like I want to be my best every day. I want to train hard. I still want to have that fire inside of me of that kid in Pinhal, like that 15-year-old kid that wanted to do this. So I just want to keep that fire still alive inside so I don't, because once you get comfortable, you like you're not gonna go anywhere. So that's my thinking, like I don't know how long I still got. I hope like still a couple years, few more years, but like as long as I'm doing, I want to do my best.
Wow,
Well,
I love that.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, we were just talking to Keenan about this, about like the mentality that you have to have as a bullfighter, because at the end of the day, man, it's your job to step in front of beast for man. And so the fact that you wake up every day and try to remind yourself, like, just because we've made it this far doesn't mean we've made it, and you still drive and hustle and push, like, dude, that has to like result in longevity in your career, I would think, hey?
exactly. And man, I'm working with the best guys in the world. Like and if you're not like all there, like if you're not doing your best, you're not gonna be there long. So and I'm 37 years old. There's kids like 21, 22, 3 years old coming up. Like they're like 14 years younger than me, and I got to keep up with them.
The young kids. Lucas, let's go back to when you were a young kid. Um, in Pinhal in the region, you were friends with my cousin Neto. You guys were always at Sherife, which was like a place, like a meeting place, right? For everyone that loved bull riding and rodeos. But what always gets me about you is that we're known for bull riders. You talk about Adriano coming up here and all the guys that followed from Brazil, but you didn't really you didn't have anyone internationally that was Brazilian as a bullfighter for you to say, hey, I want to be like that guy. You know what I mean? What was it that made you want to start bullfighting? Can you think back to when you were a kid? Was it someone you saw from the US? Was it someone from Brazil at the time? Who inspired you to want to do this?
Actually, me and Neto, your cousin, like we at his house, his dad built little, like bucking shoot, like out of wood and stuff, and we're just like we wanted to ride bulls, so we were getting a couple steers and stuff. And one day it was just me and him, and his other cousin, I think Fernando, showed up with his friend Mateus. He was a bullfighter at the Sharifi every weekend. And pretty much that day, I was like, I met him. And then that next weekend, he was like, man, do you want to come and help me? I was like, yeah. And so we had that jackpot every weekend there at that Sharifi, that place. So pretty much I was going every weekend to help him, but I didn't really know if I really wanted or not. And there's one weekend that they showed up with a truckload of like big bulls. They're like mean, and I didn't have experience. So that day they were like, "Hey, you're not getting in today because it's dangerous," and I got all pissed, I went back and then kind of cry, because I wanted to be there. And I think that day was really when it hit me, this is what I want to do, and because I want to train and I want to be good. So this doesn't happen again. And I think that was the day that really got me. And so I started going every weekend training. After that, I'll go and watch film, see what I had to do. And I always watch the guys in U.S. working too, like Frank Newsom, Joe Baumgartner. And I always liked the way they work. So, and when I was 16, I did my first professional. And then from there, I wanted to, I wanted to do every rodeo around my hometown. And after that, I set goals to work every big rodeo in Brazil and work at the PBR Brazil. And after I got that done, I was like, well, I want to go to United States, and just be with the best guys in the world.
Was PBR Brazil pretty good with helping you transition to the States? And did they help you along with that process, or how did that look for you?
Man, not really. They kind of helped me with some of the documents to get my visa and stuff, but they kind of had their hands tied. There's not much that they could do for me. I pretty much when I got here in America, the guys that helped me was the guys that were here. The bull riders like Marchi, Subano, uh, Valderon, them older guys that were here before. So they'll go and talk to stock contractors or the guys. Hey, man, we got this kid here. He needs an opportunity. And for that because the first year I was I came here and stayed 3 months, and then I went back to Brazil. So them 3 months, I was just get my gear bag and travel with the bull riders. Whatever they're going, I'm going with them. And I got there, hey man, can I just work? And wasn't making any money. And and then I got hired for my first bull riding here in U.S. It was in Alabama, so that's when I kind of make my first check, and but the first 2 years I was just back and forth, and then 2015 is when I decided to come here, and then I had to go through changing my visa and everything, and
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about the process of coming out because I know as someone that has moved countries, it's hard. It's very hard, and especially for your profession, it's not a huge industry we're talking about. There's limited number of opportunities and places, and Lucas, I know the bull riders always talk about the Brazilian bull riders, the difference of coming and riding the bulls here in the U.S. and in Canada, how they buck different. They're faster, they're smaller. What's it like for a bullfighter. Was it hard for you? Was there a learning curve, or does that not affect you as a bullfighter?
Yeah, I pretty much had to learn how to fight bulls again. Like I took some stuff that I knew, but I pretty much like the bulls here. They're fast, they're aggressive. The bulls in Brazil, they have a lot of timing on them. Like they're bucking. You have a lot of time to get around them to do whatever you want. But here they're just like this. Like they're fast, they're aggressive. They're gonna hit you hard. Like so. I pretty much had to once I start working with the guys here, like more that I got around Frank, Frank Newsom, like I got to learn a lot. When I started working with him and Cody Webster, like he was a game changer, like cause first few times I was like, man, I'm lost, like they were just like rolling and I couldn't keep up with them. And then, like through the years I just pick it up, like and then it did like I had to change a lot of stuff and learn a bunch to be able to work here.
Dang, dude, that's wild, hey? Like,
Yeah.
it'd kind of almost be like going from the WHL to the NHL. Like, whoa, these boys are moving fast. Like, I'm getting hit
Yeah,
left, right, and center. Like, what the hell's going on?
And sometimes I think it's harder to like it's easier to learn something from zero. Even with horses, right? You get horses with problems. It's harder to take that away from them and teach them a new way than start fresh. And I think humans are the same way, right? For you, you've been
yeah.
working your whole life the Brazilian way, and then to have to switch.
And then you have all them bad habits, like you
Yeah.
just it's hard to get away from, like because a lot of times like when you're right on the middle of a wreck or something, like your mind has just been doing that stuff for so long, so it's hard to get away, like once you do it, it's fine, like once you learn a different way to do stuff, and then you just got to keep training your brain and your mind.
What are so I'm interested in that. Like, what is something that you brought from Brazil that didn't help you in the U.S. that you kept doing and was hard to change? Do you have an example of something that it was hard to get out of your system?
Man, like a lot of times that I got myself in a bind, and I would just kind of pretty much kind of try to run from him, like instead of staying in there, like engage that bull, like get closer to him, because a lot of times like if a bull like he's really mean, like closer you stay to him, it's easier to work, like because you don't give him that space, like for him to run you over your, like run you away. So just like I think just be aggressive, like more aggressive you are, you're gonna put that pressure on the bull, and then you're gonna keep him engaged, like at some point he's gonna leave.
Dang, you literally are like trying to take the eye of the storm by the tail. Hey,
Yeah,
get close to him, get his
yeah,
attention, be one step ahead, and don't step on your own toe.
exactly. And two, like when you get to work with guys, they're like have that team mentality, like we're a team there. We're there to protect the bull rider and help, but we're also taking care of each other, like so that makes the job a lot easier too.
I can't even imagine, but the we talk about the transition, fighting bulls in Brazil, fighting bulls here in North America, but let's talk about language, communication. Like you spoke Portuguese, like you are like the bull riders are relying on you. You have to communicate with the other bullfighters. Like, what was that like at the beginning for you?
So like when I was probably like 18 years old, I tried to get the visa to come here, and I got denied. So in that part of my life, I started doing some like private classes in Brazil, and then I wasn't able to get the visa, but I kept doing them classes. Like I never
Let me just
quit.
stop you for 1 second here. That's what I love about you, and that's what I love about winners is that you think about things that other people don't think about. Hey, I want to be a bullfighter. Okay, I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna be in the arena. I'm gonna be fighting bulls. No, a complete champion thinks about the details that other people wouldn't think about, like English classes. Like, how important is that for you to be able to communicate, to speak English? The world's falling apart around you. Your visa's getting denied, but you continue to study English. I love this part about your story. Please continue.
Yeah, and and then I just kept doing it, and I got my visa denied two more times, and I still kept going. In the fourth time, I was like, man, that's it. If I don't get it now, I'm not gonna try again. And then I got it that time and came here, and I pretty much had the basics, like, so that's what kind of helped me. Like once I got here, there's you stay here, you every day around people, like listen to radio, like just trying to train my brain, to listen and stuff. But man, I think if I didn't speak the language, I was not gonna be able to be where I'm at today. I
Man,
think
sorry, go
that
ahead.
was a that was like a huge thing for me, because I like there's no way somebody's gonna teach me or coach me or do something if I don't know what they're talking to me, like so it we work as a team, so you gotta be able to communicate with your partners.
Dude, this is the hippie coming out of me right here, but when you talked about, you said fourth time, you were like, all right, if they say no this time, then I'm done. But like most people are going to say no or say I'm done after the first or second time, right? So then if the fact that it gave you, and I mean, you might not have looked at it like this at the time, but the fact that it gave you that extended period to just learn English so that when you did show up, you were actually ready to go to work, to learn the new style, to learn the guys, to learn the bulls, to learn just the lifestyle in America. Um, so talk to us about your patience, man, and your mental game going through three denials before they finally said yes, because most people would have been like, man, I couldn't get to the US, so I guess I'm just in Brazil fighting bulls for the rest of my life, you know? So what's
Yeah.
the mental game like that in at that time in your life?
Man, I think it was just like the desire, like to come here, and just like it was hard every time I would walk over there. I was like frustrated, but I was like, man, it's gonna happen, like it's I just gonna keep trying, and it's gonna happen at some point. But it's like I think I was like, and today I understand, like it's always like God's way. Because maybe if I come when I was 18, probably wouldn't do good, and get frustrated and go back home. Like it would be like a quick trip, and never. I wouldn't be ready for everything that I had to go through here. So I think everything just happened on the right time, and at that moment it was kind of hard to understand. But today I know it was on the right time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice to
Yeah.
have like when you're walking your path and you know you're walking your path, you kind of just have that knowing of well, it is going to be okay, right?
Yeah.
Like all is going to be
Yeah.
fine. I will get there. Not today, I guess, but eventually. So I'll just keep doing what I'm doing.
100%. I think that's why faith is so important, right? When you have faith, when you believe that there's something bigger, when you believe in God, if it didn't work this time, it's because it wasn't meant to be, right? It's all written by the same hand. And it's exactly what he said. Sometimes you're not ready to do it at that moment, or you're not supposed to walk down that path. And God's showing you, showing you, showing you, and one day it will work out. And Lucas, you talked about fighting some of the biggest rodeos in Brazil. I want to talk a little bit about Barretos. I always try to explain to people I want to get cold down there, like what Bajitos is like. People have no idea, but how hard is it to fight bulls there? Because it's loud, it's huge. You guys are switching sides every I don't know how many rides. There's like 3 million rides in Brazil. They put the slack in the rodeo, like it's a
What?
5 hour affair. It's 100 degrees. It's the hottest place in the world. Tell us about what it's like fighting bulls in Bajitos.
Man, that's one of my favorite places, like to go and work. The energy, the atmosphere there, it's something different, like it's kind of hard to explain because, like and then you have like they start late, like that's how pretty much all the rodeos in Brazil are. They here like by 10:30 or 9:30 we're done, like we're gonna go get something to eat. They're just like starting to turn the music on, like by that time. And so it's like amazing, man. Like I don't know how to explain it. I think everybody should go there one time and just experience that, like a lot of people think that it is a big party, but like when you walk in the arena, it's pretty cool. Like especially that last day on that Sunday, like when that place is packed and you have the short round, it's amazing.
It's special, man. 40,000 people in the stands. It starts during
Yeah,
the day. The sun sets right like over the arena, and then the short round is at night. Like it's unbelievable. And it's literally like it's the it's the PBR championships of Brazil. I know PBR is in Brazil, but no one's gonna remember who won the PBR. They'll remember who won Barretos
oh
that
yeah,
year. It's the biggest stage, right, Lucas?
yeah, exactly. And it's kind of like Super Bowl, like
Yeah.
it's something that it's big there. And today with my schedule, like it's hard for me to go there, but I don't know, maybe I'll still go back one more time.
How many times did you fight bulls there?
If I'm not wrong, I think it was 6 times.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was funny because like I went there, I think I was maybe 13. Like I went there just to watch, and I was already. That's when I started fighting bulls, and I was like, man, this is cool, but I am not coming back here until the day I'll work here. And
No way. You made that pact,
yeah,
eh?
yeah, and then I went back there just to work the next. It was like 2011 when I went back.
Wow. How old are you?
Uh, Man, I don't know. I'm 37 now. Probably was like 20 something, I think.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
awesome. I didn't know that.
22. Yeah, yeah. It was pretty
Wow.
cool because I remember everything, and I was like, when I went to watch, it was like a lot of them guys, like Paulo Crimber, like he was riding there. All them guys that were already here in the U.S. Like it was pretty neat, and I made that go, like because I'll just go back when I work there.
That's
That's
awesome.
very cool. Did they give us a little sneak peek behind the scenes of being a bullfighter there? Do they do anything special for you? Is all your food catered and everything like that? Because like Houston and stuff, they take care of the Cowboys super well and whatnot. So like Barretos, give us a little taste of the action behind the scenes there.
Man, it's not that like just to be honest, like there's no catering. Like I think now they have a little like a locker room or something like that.
Yeah.
But there wasn't anything like that when I used to go. Like you got either you change on your car or you change them on behind the bucking chutes. Like it was kind of a little rough. Like I think they should take a better care of it. I don't know how it is now because I haven't been there for a while. It looks like they have like a locker room, a better place for the bull riders now, like for all the contestant. Maybe Felipe will be able to tell it better, but
Yeah, it's getting better, but I totally agree with you. In Brazil, the heart of the rodeo are the rodeo competitors, are the bullfighters, are if without them there is no rodeo. But in Brazil, they value the singers. Like they'll pay these guys
yeah,
like $2 million to come sing, and then the bull riders will be riding for like $5,000 grand prize. Like
Well,
like Lucas will be getting changed in his car, and
yeah,
there will be no food for them, no catering, no water. Like it's quite it's something we fight with all the time. We try to talk about it and make it better, but people don't realize like these kids in Brazil, like they're starving to be able to ride these bulls, to be able to work in rodeo. They're catching rides to go to the next rodeo, and these are guys that are winning the rodeos. Like they shouldn't be living like that. They're professional athletes. A lot of them have to have a second job, a third job to be able to pay the bills. But yeah, it's very unfortunate that it's not taken as seriously as Calgary or as the PBR here in Canada. I know PBR Brazil does a great job. I think it's one of the better. Maybe Lucas can say it better than me, but I think they're one of the better. At doing it, but it's still lagging.
thanks.
yeah. It's sad because like man, they don't. If they took a good care of all them bull riders, there would be a lot of them guys that would not even leave the country. Like because they would
Yeah.
be able to make a lot of money on their home country. Like because I know a lot of guys they come here, but they hate. They don't like being here. They're here for the money, they ride, they make their money, and they want to go back, you know, like because they miss their country, their family, and like at some point there at PBR Brazil, they're like it was like between 2010 to 2013, they were like doing great, you know, like they're paying like 1 million of the Brazilian money for the national champion, and that stuff went away. But like PBR Brazil, it's doing good again. You know, like
Yeah.
Adriano and his kids are running the PBR Brazil. So like Adriano knows, you know, like he's been there, and so he knows how to take care of his stuff. You know, like in but they still have to deal with a lot of the committee or a lot of the promoters, you know, like the guys that don't want to put a lot of money on it. They just want to spend money on concerts and stuff, you know. And I hope it gets better. It looks like it's going to the right direction,
Yeah, I
and
agree.
I hope in a couple of years we'll see like a huge difference.
Yeah, I think we will. Lucas, let me ask you a tough question, okay? You don't have to name any names, but I think if I was a bullfighter, I imagine this would happen. Like maybe it's just in my mind, but are there certain competitors where you guys like, oh damn, here comes Scotty McGee. Like this guy's dangerous. I hate this fucking guy. Like he always
Hang
gets us.
up.
Does that exist? Does that exist?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of them. Like when Mike Lee, it was like at towards the end of his career, like Mike Lee when he was going, we were like, man, we better be ready. You know, like it's gonna be a wreck. You know, like
Get the
he
stretcher. Get the stretcher.
yeah, either like a hang up, you know, like and those are the guys that try, you know, like every you see guys that try hard, you know, like they not gonna they either gonna land underneath of them, they're gonna get hung up, you know, like in so you know that's where we get paid for. We're there for those guys too, you know, like and sometimes it get a little boring, so we like to have some action.
Mike Lee was one of my favorite guys to watch growing up as a kid. That guy was a dog.
Oh yeah, he was ranked, you know, like and if I'm not wrong, I think he's still getting on, you know, like some amateur roadies, bull riding stuff. But he
Wow.
was, yeah, he was like fun to watch, you know. And when he won the world, he was like young and then just, you know, like
Electric.
kicking everybody's ass, you know, like
Yeah. Yeah, he was a blast.
So much try. That guy, like, he was not going to get bucked off for lack of try, right? And I saw Adriano talking about this the other day, and it makes sense. Like, if you're landing on your feet and you didn't make the 8 seconds, you didn't try hard enough. He's like, you got to land on your
exactly.
back or your neck because that means you were trying. I never thought about it that way, but I would be pressing eject as soon as like as soon as you think you're going to get into trouble, right? The human mind and everything is like get whatever it happens.
Yeah, and I think to me that does a lot with your mentality, but also with your training too. You know, like
Okay.
it's the same. Like to me, like even if I'm working out on the gym, like I got to do like 10 or 12 sets. I got to make sure like I'm not gonna cheat or anything because if I do it there,
Yeah.
I'm training my brain to cheat every time it gets hard. You know, like so even like when I go to practice spin, I'll work the same way I'm working on the big show at the Ford Finals. You know, because I don't want to train myself to when things get hard just walk away from it. You know, and so that's one of the my deals. You know, like every time I want to even like day, you know, everything in your life, you know, like I think you just gotta be training your brain because like I think your brain can be your worst enemy, you know, like if you don't know how to train and handle it.
Absolutely, dude. I couldn't agree more. It's
Yeah, I
your
love that.
tool, it's your best friend, it's your best enemy, right? Like what you allow it to do,
Yeah.
it will auto-populate that. And next thing you know, it's going to show up in your life in all sorts of ways. And you're going to go, oh shit, how did I get here? But it
Yeah.
worked out really good too.
Yeah,
Yeah. And go ahead.
to me, like there's a lot of times I'll catch myself looking at the draw. Man, we got this bull tonight. Man, it doesn't matter. He's still gonna go there and work him, you know. Like so, I don't really care, you know. Like that bull might be just as bad as you make him, you know. Like he's some of them they are mean, you know. Like they know how to hook, but like we're smarter than they are, you know. Like so, we just gotta you can't let that affect your way you're gonna work and anything like that.
And preparation, right? I think that's a huge part of it, what you're talking about. Like people always ask, like, how do you train your mind? That's a great way to do it is at the gym because you don't want to do it. Like you get to whatever, you got to do 12, 15 reps. By the time you're in 13, you're hurting, your mind's telling you stop hook you or whatever circumstance you may be in, your mind's going to be trained and be able to turn that switch and say, no, I can't quit. I need to get to the end of this. People ask me that all the time. And I think the gym is obviously great for a million reasons, but one of them is that mindset. But Lucas, I'd love to hear what is the training? What does it take to be at the top of your game as a bullfighter? Like what's your regimen like? Are you getting in the arena and all, you talked about practice bowls? Like, is that a part of your weekly workout, your month? What's the gym like? Give it to us.
So like right now we're right on the middle of the season. We have this last week, and then we have a week off in the World Finals. So when I'm going every weekend, I don't really go to practice spins or anything. Because I'll get home Monday and gotta leave on Thursday. So I'll usually like that Monday I'll take a day off, and then I'll get if I'm leaving Friday or Saturday, I'll get like 3 good days of working out. And I train with the guy here. He's been working with me for a while. Like his name is Jim Bowie. He works with a lot of the bull riders too, and he's a Austin Gambler trainer, and he pretty much knows what I need. Like we do a lot of agility. Like a lot of work a bunch with my hips. Like rotating my hips, and the last 2 or 3 years I've been doing a little bit of weights too, because I notice if I get a little bit of muscle will help when you take them hits. Like you're not gonna hurt. Like injury and stuff. You still might be sore, but I feel like if I get my body a little stronger, it's gonna help me to take them hits.
Wow.
Yeah, big time.
That's awesome. And when you're at the events, like, are you working out? Like when you go to these, or no, you're just fighting bulls.
No, I'm just like I'll just sleep. Like cause like
Yeah.
it's hard when I'm home. I wake up early every day because I got kids and got to take them to school. And when I'm at the event, like I'll get back and it's hard to go to sleep early. Like so you still the adrenaline is still running. Like so I'll go to sleep late. So I'll just take that next day and just rest, get up, go get something to eat, uh, come back to the room, just chill, and then by the time I'll go to the arena and then I'll go early and like get change and just get a little warm up, go to sports med, let them guys work on me if I need some stretch or just like just loosen up my hips and stuff, and that's pretty much it. When I was younger, I used to like go to the event and wake up, go to the gym in the morning. Like at night, my legs would be tired. Like so, man, that this is not worth my. Because I think the rest is just as important as working out. Like because you gotta respect your body and know that sometimes you just need rest. Like that's how your body uh, rehab when you're resting too.
Do you wear an
100%.
Apple Watch or anything like that? I would love to know like how many calories you burn in a session of fighting bulls. Like it's probably an incredible amount.
Yeah.
Man, I've never. I think I've done it at the team finals last year in Vegas, and I can't remember how because there we're bucking bulls on both sides, so we would have to go buck one bull on one side and then jog to the other side of the arena. So every ride will be going back and forth, and I remember it was a lot. Like at the end of the night, it was a lot of calories and a lot of steps that we done that night, but I think I should wear more and just try to have an idea how much calories and how many steps I'll do like at night.
I feel like you could eat a bull
Yeah.
after fighting a bull.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I
That'd be
can't even
nuts.
imagine. It must be insane. And like the adrenaline also, like when you said you couldn't sleep, that's something I was gonna ask. Like when these events are done, you're probably flying. Like it probably takes you hours to come back down from it, eh?
Yeah, and a lot of times your body's tired, but your mind's still going, like and like me and Cody Webster, we room together pretty much every weekend, and so we'll get back to the room. We'll be there talking. When we look at the clock, it was like 3 in the morning. I said, "Dude, we better go sleep."
What is that? Does Cody Webster snore?
No, Nathan Harp does. That's why we don't room with him.
That's so funny. But tell us about the brotherhood that you guys build up. This is it's just like going to war. You gotta rely on the next guy or you're dead. So tell us about that connection with these guys. You've been with them for years. What's that like?
Man, it's pretty fun. Like it's we just try to keep it fun. Like we're we're always giving each other a hard time. Like a lot of times, especially Cody, like it. I'll say something like in English that's wrong. That's his day. Like he'll be making fun of me like the whole day, and it's like it's fun, man. We're just like I tell him, so man, we won't do this forever, but we're damn sure having a lot of fun. Like while we're doing it, and that's all that matters. Like we're on the road every week. Like if you don't really love it and have a good time, it's not even worth leaving your house to go.
Dang, yeah, I couldn't agree anymore because it can be hard when you got kids to leave, right? Like, and especially when your job is to take shots and get in the middle of wrecks. Like, I couldn't imagine how hard it would be to go. But yeah, the camaraderie amongst the guys and the lifestyle that it brings is just so unique and so cool. And you guys get to do what you love and see new places. And especially for you, right? You've got to move to a whole new freaking continent and be like, "What's up,
Ex-
guys? I'm here. Let's do this."
Exactly, man. Like it's hard to leave home. Like my kids, my boy's 6, my little girl is like 3 years old. It's like a fun age, like and sometimes I'm like, damn, I don't really want to leave this weekend, but I have to, like and once you hit the road, like you see the guys at the airport or at the arena, it's like, yeah, it's fun, man. Like I really enjoy, and it is worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how hard it is for a guy. I talk to Claire all the time about it. I travel a lot as well, but I don't have kids yet, right? So it's hard for
Yeah,
me to leave her, and I'm like, oh, that sucks. I wish I was here. But imagine when you have kids, like it must be just. I can't even imagine. But I want to ask you something, Lucas. You've been involved with the sport for so long, and you've seen it change. The padding you guys use, what you're using as equipment. Do you feel like you guys will ever wear helmets? I think about this all the time because, for bull riders a couple years back, you'd be like, that's insane. They're never gonna make them wear helmets. And now, if you're born after a certain age, you have to wear helmets. And you guys are putting yourself even more at risk because you're out there all night, you're taking shots to the head, but you're still fighting with the cowboy hat, which I think is awesome. But do you
yeah,
think eventually like the guys will have to wear helmets?
man. I don't think I'll see that happen. Because once you put that helmet, like your vision's limited. Like you can't see much. Like and like with anything here, I can. Like you can see your partner rolling in here on the other side. So you, I don't, I don't think that's gonna happen. Like maybe on the future, but I don't think it's because I think that's gonna affect your performance. So I don't think they would ever do it. Because like to ride a bull, all you gotta see it's like right here. Like you gotta be looking at here.
Yeah.
But like for us, we gotta be watching everything. And so
That's like hockey, though. Hockey players
yeah,
said the same thing when goalies are out there with no mask on. They're like, I can't wear a helmet. How am I going to see?
I
And
can't
now
see
they
the
wear
yeah,
end.
helmets and they got to
yeah,
watch over their heads. There's guys trying to
yeah,
freaking, open ice kill them. And
yeah.
it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Like, has everyone ever, like, is that something that's been said? Has it been talked about? Like, or no,
Man,
it's never been mentioned.
I don't think I ever heard about it. Like, there's one time I wore a little uh, the deal that they ride bikes with, like, but just because they had a GoPro on it,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
it didn't bother me, but it was really like that didn't protect much too. You know, like if you got kicked, probably gonna kick that thing out of your head and still knock
Yeah.
you out.
Yeah. It's not going to come off. It's going to go into your skull. That's what's going
Exactly. Yeah.
on.
It's gonna make it worse. Now you got to get plastic out of your skull.
Yeah.
Tell
Yeah.
me about like speaking of the injuries. It's a part of the game. What are some of the worst things you've dealt with in your career?
Man, I've been pretty blessed. You know, like a torn ligament on my knee, broken ribs, arm, had a leg, had a horn on my leg one time. You know, like that. I had to go to hospital and do a little surgery just to clean it. And 45 days I was back at work. So I just been pretty blessed. You know, like I still, there's some stuff that you wake up every day, you're sore. You know, like your hips are hurting and stuff, but nothing that really been like a huge like injury or that kept me out of the arena for too long.
Yeah, I mean, do you want sore hips from being an accountant and sitting at a desk all day? Or do you want sore
No,
hips from stepping around them, right? Like, hell yeah.
be better that way.
Absolutely.
Way better stories, way better stories at the end of the day, that's for sure. And how about the Bulls, Lucas? Are there Bulls right now in the circuit where you guys, like, you talk a little bit about it, they hook, like what are the most difficult ones today to work with that you're like, oh, when you see their name, you're like, it's gonna be interesting, boys.
Yeah, man, I don't think there's really like any right. There's a few of them, like they damn sure like bucking, like they're like Man Hater. He's when you watch him bucking, like man, this is the athleticism, like you see on that bull, it's something different, like and looks like they're coming like they're breeding him right, because they're getting like ranker and ranker, like
Yeah.
just slamming them guys, like I bet it'll be a hard time to be a bull rider, like if you're not that gritty or good right now, because the bulls are just getting harder and harder.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, man, to see them circle. You're gonna say something?
Yeah, I just want to know because I know it's super loud down there on the arena floors, but you probably can hear when Buddy lands on his back and all the air leaves his body, and you're like, uh-oh. Can you hear that when that happens?
Oh, yeah, because we're right there, and it was like, dude, a lot of times we know that they're gonna stay there for a little bit, like
Yeah.
so. Hey, man,
Get him a
hey, he's
pillow. Get him a pillow.
yeah, he's down. So we just try to get that bull away from him, like or sometimes the guy get just like Nick Tats. He broke his leg a couple weeks ago, and I was right beside him. I could hear that pop, like
Oh,
pop, and
no.
I like,
I did not
damn
hear
that.
about this.
What's that?
I didn't hear about this, about Nick breaking.
Yeah, he's out
Yeah,
for.
he broke his leg at one of the like right now at the PBR during the regular season. They're doing the like on Friday night they have like a games, just like two teams that play,
Yeah.
and he was riding for the Arizona Ridge Riders, and he was just like they got bucked off. That bull just came and stepped right on his leg,
Oh,
and yeah, I could hear that. I was like, man, that didn't sound good.
yeah.
Oh God, that would be
Yeah.
I would puke. I would just projectile puke right away. That sounds terrible. Lucas, what's a ride that because let's talk about this as well. You love rodeo. You grew up watching rodeo. You have the best seat in the house to see some of the most spectacular rides. Like, were you there when Vichingo broke the record?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're right there. Like I mean, I'm sure you can't get caught up in it, like eating popcorn because you got to save the guy's life immediately after. But what are some of the special moments for you being in the rodeo, like some of the rides that you'll never forget?
Man, Jose on Whoopa when he was like 98,
Yeah.
and also Cassio Diaz on Manhater was awesome too. Like just that bull, he's so hard to ride. Like it makes him work hard to ride him. Whoopa to me, like I'm not saying, but he's more like a show. Like the way he bucks is just like if you get the right guy, they are going to be like high score. But Man Hater, he'll damn sure makes you earn it. Like you really got to work on him because he's pretty rank.
And on a ride like that, like when something that spectacular happens, like you can feel it in the air, right? The energy.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever gotten caught like watching and then not going in? Like, don't lie to
Man,
us.
not really. Like I really get excited and pumped, like that's when you really like, man,
Okay.
I want to get there, like you just get so excited and you're like it kind of fire you up, like to go and then go after it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dang, dude. How
Yeah.
you talk about fighting bulls just literally tells us without a doubt that
Yeah.
you were meant to be a matador, right? Like get
Yeah.
in there, save these boys. It's cool and it's unique, right? Because what a wild
Yeah.
way to make a living.
Man, it's amazing, like I feel pretty blessed, doing what I love to do like every weekend, like to be where I'm at today, like I look back just like we're saying at the beginning, like like I don't like to brag on myself, but man, I came a long ways, like from all the way from Brazil and being like the first guy to ever do it PBR, like from the whole country. So like it's pretty amazing, like it like God's great.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man. God is great,
Yeah.
but you've worked very hard to get to where you are, and I think it's so cool. It's going to be so cool to see like the next few generations of bullfighters coming from Brazil. We're telling you don't have to go far. Look at what happened when Adriano came, and then everything. He opened the doors for all the other guys, and what we see today in the PPR. And you're doing the same thing for bullfighting. Lucas goes back to
Yeah.
Brazil. He does clinics. These kids are watching him. Now it becomes real, tangible. Like to be the first guy, you got to be a lunatic. You got to be a real pioneer because there's no one to look at. But when there's someone, an example, then all of a sudden, you could get there as well. Like if Lucas is there, why can't I? And I feel like you're gonna change the game for bullfighting and for Brazilian bullfighters. I'm so excited to see all the talent coming out of Brazil. Is that something that you think about? Like, do you sometimes kind of take a step back? You must be seeing it. The kids in Brazil getting excited about bullfighting.
Yeah, but the thing is about like bullfighting in Brazil, like I've been done some schools there, and I think once the bulls get a little like hotter or you know better there, it's gonna force the bullfighters to step up too, because
Yeah.
there's too many guys they're too comfortable right now. The bulls are not making them work hard, like here in the US. You can go to any practice pen. You're going to see a guy that's really good or decent. Like anywhere you go, you're going to find one that's like, man, I like that kid. Like, and then you find out he's just fighting bulls for like short period of time. Like, and you go to Brazil like today. When I watch all the events there, it must be just one guy that kind of impressed me. Like the rest is just mediocre. Like in the
Wow.
yeah.
That's
So
interesting. That's interesting you say that. And you said this before, the whole comfort thing. And I read a line the other day that hits home here. Comfort is the enemy of progress and the
yeah.
enemy of success. And yeah, that's so interesting. I guess, yeah, the kids in the US and Canada just have better bulls to fight, right?
Yeah, and I heard from Adriano Moraes one time like why the bull riders are good in Brazil because the bulls are weak. So when they're starting, they're able to learn, like to do everything right at the beginning. So when they get to the rank bulls, they already got the basics good, like and
Yeah.
the foundation's good. Because like if you start when you're learning how to ride bulls, if you get on the rank one you're going to get bucked off 1 or 2 seconds. You didn't see anything happen. You
Yeah.
didn't work on anything.
Yeah.
So like when you get a like put a kid on like a on a steer that's just bucking, like he's going to be able to do everything right
Yeah.
and just get that muscle memory right. Like so when he gets to the hard one to the rank one, he's gonna at that part he got it. Like so he's just going to start to progress and then with the bullfighters it's opposite. Like you really need like mean bulls, like that really gonna make them guys be aggressive, like you either do it or you quit, like because if not you're gonna get killed.
Dude,
That's
I mean, you know Cody Webster now. I love watching his YouTube channel with when he gets some kids out and they run some of those bulls in and they fight at his arena there, man. Like, oh
Oh,
my
I've never seen this. I
God,
need to start.
man
I need to
killers,
watch
dude.
this.
Man, Cody, he's to me, he's one of the best guys to ever do it. Like him and Frank Newsom, and me and him were pretty close. And it's amazing the way like he sees everything. Like he's got a good way to teach them kids. Like it's pretty cool. And then you watch how many kids came out of his ranch. Like and they're doing good today. So it's pretty cool to watch
Yeah.
it.
You see a lot of them out there on the road with him now, or picking up more pro rodeos on their own now. Like, yeah, dude, they're doing cool stuff around there. But like you said, the bulls that Cody has for these guys, he's got mama cows that'll straight up hunt your
Oh
lunch,
yeah.
dude, right? Like so, like you said, for to be a good bullfighter, you got to get in the pen with something that wants to eat your lunch, and you got to kind of want to eat his too, and figure that out quick because they're coming.
Yeah, exactly. And you see, like Austin Ashley, he's there with us on the UTB, and he started training with Cody. Like, and now you watch him doing great on the big tour. Like that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome. Iron sharpens iron. I'm gonna have to watch his YouTube channel. I didn't know he had a YouTube channel. Now I'm gonna jump down that loophole and waste 3 hours of my life. Lucas, now you've become a businessman. You got a coffee brand, straight out of Brazil, where we're from. Cole in Pinhal is a big coffee region. Like it's a perfect climate. There's a lot of mountains, so it's very good for the quality of the coffee. Lucas, tell us about this new journey you're on.
So my whole family, like I grew up, my dad, he was in the coffee business. Like he was a pretty much like a broker. He'll buy from the farmers and sell to the big companies. So I grew up around, like at some point my dad wanted me to, like to work with that, and I never liked being in the office, like, and I was like, no, that ain't for me. And then my brother, he started doing that too, worked on the coffee business. And then my sister married a guy that it's on the coffee business, so it's all the way around. And I was like, a couple of years ago, I need to start making a plan. Like when I quit fighting bulls, I want to have something already going. So I need to start it early. So we know like every business might take 5 years to really do good. Like so, and it's something that it's on my blood, it's on my family, and everybody loves coffee. Like so. I was like, man, let's just start that deal. And we started last year. Me and my wife here, and she helps me to run the business while I'm in the road. So we kind of started small, like it's going good, and hopefully in a couple of years we'll be big.
Nice,
We're
dude.
working for it.
What do you call it?
It's Teodoro coffee. It's my last name.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, you
That's
can look it up. We need to find a way to start sending to Canada too.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
It's so cold up here, dude. It
go.
snowed yesterday, so we need it.
Let's say Tim
Yeah.
Hortons out of business. I like this. Have you ever had Tim Hortons? Have you ever been to Canada, Lucas?
No, I would like to one day.
There's a coffee shop here called Tim Hortons. It was he was a big hockey player, NHL hockey player, and he started this little coffee shop in Timmins, Ontario, and it took over the freaking country. Like it's the biggest chain now. It's freaking everywhere. Canadians will not leave their house without getting a Tim Hortons coffee. So maybe this is the beginning of Teodoro coffee. You know,
Exactly.
bullfighter extraordinaire becomes the most successful coffee shop owner in the world. Lucas, thank you so much for making the time to chat with us, buddy. You're just a stand-up guy outside of the professional you've become as an athlete in the PBR as a bullfighter. You're just your humility. You're so humble and just a stand-up guy. We have a last question that we asked all our guests. I'm gonna let Cole do the honors, but thank you so much for chatting with us and best of luck with the PBR.
Thank you, my friend. My pleasure.
So our last question we like to ask our guests is if they're not a cowboy, we ask them what kind of cowboy they would be. But since you are a cowboy, we want to know if you weren't fighting bulls and involved in the Western rodeo world, what do you think Lucas would be doing?
maybe being a coffee man.
Being a coffee man. I mean, it
That
makes
pretty
Yeah.
sense.
much that was pretty much what's gonna lead me, like
Yeah.
or maybe I started going to I went to school to be a vet, like there's something that I really wanted to be too.
Yeah.
And but when I was doing the school, that's when I start fighting bulls, and I was like, man, I'm not gonna be paying for school if I'm not really in it. So I think that going back, I think I would be a vet today because that's something I really would like to do.
Very cool.
I
Yeah.
like it. I like it. All right, sir. Thank you so much. Have a great day, Lucas.
Yes,
Obrigado,
sir.
irmão.
You guys too.
See
Tamo
you,
junto.
Lucas.
Um abraço.
Valeu, valeu, valeu.
See you, Cole.
That's awesome, man.
Dude, what a
Vet
beauty.
coffee, man. What a beauty, eh?
What a beauty.
Yeah, just a class act. And like I remember him going through the whole process. I'd go to Brazil. Hey, how's it going? Oh, I was denied again. I was denied again. I was denied again. The visa, and still pushing, like not letting it affect him at all. Like going to English classes. Like who thinks of that? You know what I mean? That's what
Yeah.
makes it you think outside the box, right? You're not just taking the normal checks. You're thinking of things that most people wouldn't think about.
So proactive for something that the external forces were telling him, hey, this isn't going to happen for you.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
could tell just the way he talked about it. He's just like, yeah, I got denied. And then fourth time, they were like, okay, you're good. And it's just like, what do you mean? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What about
Yeah.
the other two times, dude? Like, how long would that
Yeah.
have been? That would have been crazy.
Oh, how do you stay motivated, right? Like because these are
Mhm.
forces that are outside of you. Like you can work out hard, you can study English, you can be in the practice pen every day, you can devote your life to it. But guess what? If these guys don't want to give you a visa, they're not going to give you a visa, and that's totally out of your hands, right? You can't work harder to get that visa. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Turns
man,
out the
he's
government don't give a shit.
they don't give a shit. As Cole as Cowboy Cole knows, as of 2025,
They
you
don't.
can get turned away at the border.
It is possible, folks. I'm telling you, as a white male, military age, they will deny it.
Yeah, even with that bushy mustache, you will not get into the United States of America if they don't want you in.
Crazy, dude. I had to wear all kinds of everything, so they thought I was American already.
Oh dear. But anyways,
So
buddy,
cool.
just he's an amazing guy. I'm glad we got him on the show. We're talking about like one of the best bullfighters in the world, one of the best to ever do it. And just his story. Like I said, it's hard enough to be, the top three bullfighters in the world when you're born in the US, when you have the connections, when you have the contacts, everything's working your way. It's already hard. Imagine coming from South America, from Brazil. Like I know how hard it is. So you got to take your hat off to that guy, everything he's put together, and now the coffee business. I love Lucas.
Yeah, dude. I want to try that coffee. That sounds good.
Yeah, let's get some of that next time we're in the US. And yeah, buddy, great episode. And who's are we won't tell anybody. Next one's gonna be a surprise.
Yeah, we got a special guy coming on next. So stay tuned. Thanks for listening here on the podcast. Remember, guys, YouTube, we're on all the social media stuff. Check us out. Give us a like, a follow. Tell your friends.
Tell your friend, tell your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids.
We'll see you in the next one. Peace.